Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a quick first impressions video on a Tucson. This is the first time I've ever had a Tucson knife. The box is very, very plain. I'm not going to get into much other than just to let you take a look at it. But here is the knife. It is the TS49. And I've been curious about this for a while. I've seen some other reviews and I've seen pictures of this. And of all of the Tucson knives out there, this one has been the most interesting to me for a while now. I just had yet to, to get my hands on it. In fact, I'd been a little hesitant to do much of anything with Tucson knives just because they're on the lower end. They tend to flood the market with a bunch of designs and you know, anyway, uh, just not a company that I was super compelled by. And I can't say that I'm super compelled by them now, other than the fact that they do have some interesting designs out there. And my question for this knife was, hey, are they up to are they building at a quality level that makes it justifiable to, they're definitely on the cheaper end of the spectrum. So the question was, are they delivering, a $200 knife at a $100 price point? And if so, maybe that's something that I ought to be considering. Also, when they do come out with a design that I really, really enjoy, can I buy that with confidence, expecting to get, at least something reliable, right? I'm pretty generous when it comes to my reviews and my expectations. As long as a knife essentially does what it's supposed to do, opens when it's supposed to, closes when it's supposed to, locks when it's supposed to, and cuts stuff, I'm not going to be really, really critical of, minor fit and finish issues or anything like that. So that was my sort of concern was, is it going to, be good enough that I can enjoy it without being put off? So I can't speak to that long term. Initially, I will say, it's not the absolute cleanest knife. There are a couple little things here and there. A good example is notice how the cutout here on the end of the lock bar, the gap is bigger at this side than this side. So there are a couple little things that you kind of go, okay, it could be cleaner. This being raised instead of flush, I'm not totally in love with. The micarta is a little rough. It's canvas micarta, which is expected to be a little rough. But anyway, so there are a couple little nitpicks, but really I have to keep telling myself this is only $100 for a titanium frame lock in M390, and that's pretty good. The other thing I have to say is the Tucson logo milled in here really takes away from the knife. It definitely cheapens the overall look. In terms of, the action on this, it's pretty nice. Very thick, hefty blade stock, comfortable handle. So, those functionality issues, they've done a decent job. We've got a dropish point blade, almost a modified drop point. You can see how they've sort of done a tanto grind, kind of, although there's still belly and it's more of a drop point than maybe a tanto. But compelling grind, attractive looking knife, fairly thick blade stock. I'll have to come back. This is fairly thick, so it may not slice. We'll see how thin it is behind the edge, and I'll do some cutting with it before the full review. I will say it is pretty comfortable in hand. It does flip reasonably well. It's definitely a dense feeling knife, right? This is not a huge knife. So let me give you a size and weight. 7 7/8 inches overall, 3.5 inches on the blade length, 4 5/8 closed. Okay, so it's pretty efficient in terms of blade to handle ratio, 3 5/8 inch grip area, and 4.2 ounces. So those are the specs. Nothing is out of line here. It's pretty on point for what it is. Certainly an interesting knife. You can see that there's a bit of a lower, my expectations were probably higher than they should have been, but let's say this, since it costs $100, and I think it probably does a good job for a knife that costs $100. It isn't perhaps what I'd hoped, and that would be, a $100 knife that performs and has the level of fit and finish and everything else of a $200 knife. It's not quite that, but as it stands, I would say, look, it's acceptable. If you like the design, if you want to check one out, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Okay. But I would say just, make sure you sort of manage your expectations. I haven't put this in my pocket yet. We'll see how the clip works. It doesn't look like it has a ton of room, but certainly it's attractive and doesn't cause a hotspot. So those things are good. Lock bar tension is decent. Flipping action is pretty enjoyable. So that's a quick rundown. As I say, I'll give you the full review after I've got some time to use this, to cut with it, to carry it around for a while, and then I'll come back and tell you exactly what I think about and go into some more detail about performance. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, go over to White Mountain Knives. I hope I didn't take the last one. If I did, they do have quite a few Tucson knives in stock over there. And let me know in the comments down below if you've had some Tucson knives and what you thought of them. We'll talk to you soon, guys.